We're all taught that honesty is the best policy, but is it? Really? I mean, always? What if, just maybe, a little white lie could actually be the right thing to do? It's a tricky idea, right? Well, today we're diving into a really fascinating perspective on this whole thing from the YouTube channel Richuki Diary, and they make a pretty compelling case for, yeah, the art of the white lie.
So, the source we're looking at just cuts right to the chase. It poses this huge question that kind of messes with everything we're taught. Is lying always a sin? And we're about to jump into a few situations where, let me tell you, the answer is, well, it's not so simple.
Okay, let's start with something we can all relate to. The relationship white lie. You know what I'm talking about? Those moments where just being brutally honest would be like pouring gasoline on a bonfire. A little strategic dishonesty might be the only thing standing between you and a night sleeping on the couch.
So, picture this. You're in a major argument with your partner. They're furious. Logic? Oh, logic has packed its bags and left the building. And things are just escalating, getting worse by the second. You know you've got to de-escalate this, like, right now. What's the move?
Well, the source actually lays out a 3-step strategy for this. Step 1, you've got to sense the danger. Recognize you're at a tipping point. Step 2, deploy the white lie, a really carefully chosen one that's designed to completely change the emotional weather in the room. And step 3, just restore the peace. See, it's not really about deception, it's more like emotional crisis management.
Here's a great example they give. A husband sees his wife is absolutely livid. He knows what'll calm her down, so he says something like, "Hey, let's just calm down, I'll take you shopping tomorrow." And bam, instantly her whole mood shifts. The argument, it's just over. Not because he won it, but because he totally changed the game.
But, and this is a huge but, the lie has got to be believable. It has to be plausible. The source makes a great point here. If your partner has been, let's say, a terrible cook for years, you can't just suddenly shout, "This is the best meal I have ever tasted." It's just not going to work. They'll see right through it, and boom, you've just started a whole new, probably worse fight.
So you can kind of see the two paths you could take. You've got brutal honesty. Wow, this tastes awful, which, let's be real, leads straight to a fight. Or you've got the gentle, believable white lie, which preserves the peace. And the argument here is that in these specific moments, the goal isn't to deceive. The goal is harmony.
Okay, so that's relationships. But what about more serious situations? How does this idea apply then? Well, next up, we're looking at lies that aren't just about keeping the peace at home, but about preventing a real, genuine disaster. We're talking about those times when being honest could actually cause way more harm than good.
And the source gives a couple of really powerful examples. Think about this. Your colleague messes up. I mean, a big mistake that could get them fired. Do you tell the absolute truth and let them get the axe? Or do you cover for them with a small lie to save their job? Or what about someone so desperate they have to lie just to get food for their starving family? In these cases, you can see how the lie is serving a much, much bigger purpose. It's coming from a place of compassion.
All right, now for what might be the most, let's say, culturally specific and honestly pretty hilarious example from the source. We're talking about lies told for the greater good when arranging a marriage. Oh yeah, this is where it gets really interesting.
So, in some cultures, arranging a marriage is a huge deal. It's incredibly high stakes, and parents, they just want the absolute best for their kid, so they might, shall we say, embellish a little bit. The source talks about parents who might exaggerate their daughter's qualities, her skills, her temperament, all to make a good impression on the potential in-laws. In their eyes, they're just giving their daughter a leg up, a necessary advantage.
And this brings us to what is, hands down, my favorite quote from the whole thing. A parent might proudly tell the other family, "My daughter is an absolute cow." Now, hold on, I know what you're thinking, but in this context, calling someone a cow is a massive compliment. It means she's quiet, docile, gentle, basically the perfect daughter-in-law, at least in some traditional views. It is such a brilliant and funny example of one of these greater good lies.
And of course, here comes the punchline. After the wedding, the in-laws start to realize that their new daughter-in-law isn't exactly the gentle little cow they were promised. It's a bit of a surprise, for sure. But by then, the lie has already done its job. It's secured what the parents truly believed was a good future for their child.
Okay, so after hearing all these examples, you might be thinking, this is just a free pass to lie whenever you want. But no, the source is super clear on this point. This is not an excuse to become a habitual liar. There are very strict rules for what actually counts as an acceptable or good lie.
Rule number 1, and this is the big one. This is the tool of last resort. It's not for everyday use. You're only supposed to use a white lie in an extreme situation where you desperately need to turn things around, to take something really negative and make it neutral, or even positive. Think of it like a fire extinguisher, right? You don't use it as an air freshener.
And then there are the hard and fast boundaries. These are non-negotiables.
A good lie cannot harm you, it cannot harm anyone else, it can't cause trouble for other people, and it absolutely positively cannot have a lasting negative impact on your life. If your lie breaks any of these rules, it's crossed the line. Simple as that.
So when you boil it all down, what we're really talking about is the fact that lying isn't just black and white. It's so much more nuanced than that. It all depends on the context, and maybe, most importantly, your intent. What's your goal? Are you trying to manipulate someone for your own gain? Or are you trying to protect someone, to comfort them, or to restore peace? And that, right there, is the fundamental difference.
Which, of course, brings us to the final big question we want to leave you with. We've talked about lies to save someone's feelings, to save a job, even to arrange a marriage. And the source gives us a pretty clear framework to think about, but in your own life, based on your own values. Where do you draw the line?